Hello, future hackers. Without wasting even a second of time, let's start our practice with our first model paper. Question 1. Which of the following layers in IoT architecture helps bridge the gap between two endpoints, such as a device and a client, and carries out message routing, message identification, and subscribing? The options are Edge technology, Internet, middleware, Access gateway. The answer is D. Access gateway. Question 2. What is the purpose of the demilitarized zone? The options are A. To add a protect to network devices. B. To scan all traffic coming through the DMZ to the internal network. C. To add an extra layer of security to an organization's local area network. D. To provide a place for a honeypot. The answer is C. To add an extra layer of security to an organization's local area network. Question 3. You know that the application you are attacking is vulnerable to SQL injection, but you cannot see the result of the injection. You send a SQL query to the database, which makes the database wait before it can react. You can see from the time the database takes to respond whether a query is true or false. What type of SQL injection did you use? The options are A. Blind SQL injection. B. Out-of-band SQL injection. C. Union SQL injection. D. Error-based SQL injection. The answer is A. Blind SQL injection. Question 4. John, a pen tester, received an order to conduct an internal audit in the company. One of its tasks is to search for open ports on servers. Which of the following methods is the best solution for this task? The options are A. Scan servers with Nmap. B. Telnet to every port on each server. C. Manual scan on each server. D. Scan servers with MBSA. The answer is A. Scan servers with Nmap. Question 5. What is an automated software testing technique that involves providing invalid, unexpected, or random data as inputs to a computer program? The options are A. Monkey testing. B. Concolic testing. C. Fuzz testing. D. Security testing. The answer is C. Fuzz testing. Question 6. The attacker enters its malicious data into intercepted messages in a TCP session since source routing is disabled. He tries to guess the responses of the client and server. What hijacking technique is described in this example? The options are A. TCP/IP. B. Blind. C. Registration. D. RST. The answer is blind. Question 7. Ivan, a black hat hacker, sends partial HTTP requests to the target web server to exhaust the target server's maximum concurrent connection pool. He wants to ensure that all additional connection attempts are rejected. What type of attack does Ivan implement? The options are A. HTTP getter post. B. Spoof session flood. C. Slow lorries. D. Fragmentation. The answer is C. Slow lorries. Question 8. Ivan, a black hat hacker, tries to call numerous random numbers inside the company, claiming he is from the technical support service. It offers company employee services in exchange for confidential data or login credentials. What method of social engineering does Ivan use? The options are A. Tailgating. B. Quid pro quo. C. Reverse social engineering. D. Elicitation. The answer is quid pro quo. Question 9. How works the mechanism of a boot sector virus? The options are A. Moves the MBR to another location on the random access memory and copies itself to the original location of the MBR. B. Overwrites the original MBR and only executes the new virus code. C. Moves the MBR to another location on the hard disk and copies itself to the original location of the MBR. D. Modifies directory table entries to point to the virus code instead of the actual MBR. The answer is C. Question 10. Ferdinand installs a virtual communication tower between the two authentic endpoints to mislead the victim. What attack does Ferdinand perform? A. Hijacking. B. Alter. C. Aspidistra. D. Sinkhole. The answer is B. Alter. Question 11. Identify secure hashing algorithm, which produces a 160-bit digest from a message on principles similar to those used in MD4 and MD5. The options are A. SHA-0, B. SHA-3, C. SHA-2, D. SHA-1. The answer is SHA-1. Question 12. Which of the following tools is a command line vulnerability scanner that scans web servers for dangerous files/CGIs? A. John the Ripper, B. Nikto, C. Snort, D. Conboot. The answer is B. Nikto. Question 13. Which type of viruses tries to hide from antivirus programs by actively changing and corrupting the chosen service call interruptions when they are being run? The options are A. Tunneling virus, B. Cavity virus, C. Stealth/tunneling virus, D. Polymorphic virus. The answer is C. Stealth/tunneling virus. Rajesh, a system administrator, noticed that some clients of his company were victims of DNS cache poisoning. They were redirected to a malicious site when they tried to access Rajesh's company site. What is the best recommendation to deal with such a threat? The options are A. Use of security agents on customers' computers, B. Use domain name system security extensions, DNSSEC, C. Customer awareness, D. Use a multi-factor authentication. The answer is B. Use domain name system security extensions. Which of the following best describes a software firewall? The options are A. Software firewall is placed between the normal application and the networking components of the operating system. B. Software firewall is placed between the antivirus application and the IDS components of the operating system. C. Software firewall is placed between the router and the networking components of the operating system. D. Software firewall is placed between the desktop and the software components of the operating system. The answer is A. Software firewall is placed between the normal application and the networking components of the operating system. Question 16. Rajesh, a network administrator, found several unknown files in the root directory of his FTP server. He was very interested in a binary file named MFS. Rajesh decided to check the FTP server logs and found that the anonymous user account logged into the server, uploaded the files, and ran the script using a function provided by the FTP server software. Also, he found that MFS file is running as a process and it listening to a network port. What kind of vulnerability must exist to make this attack possible? The options are A. Privilege escalation, B. File system permissions, C. Brute force login, D. Directory traversal. The answer is B. File system permissions. Question 17. Define Metasploit module used to perform arbitrary, one-off actions such as port scanning, denial of service, SQL injection, and fuzzing. The options are A. Auxiliary module, B. Exploit module, C. Payload module, D. NOPS module. The answer is A. Auxiliary module. Question 18. With which of the following SQL injection attacks can an attacker deface a web page, modify, or add data stored in a database and compromise data integrity? The options are A. Loss of data availability, B. Compromise data integrity, C. Unauthorized access to an application, D. Information disclosure. The answer is B. Compromise data integrity. Question 19. Determine the attack by the description, the known plaintext attack used against DES. This attack causes that encrypting plaintext with one DES key followed by encrypting it with a second DES key is no more secure than using a single key. The options are A. Traffic analysis attack, B. Man-in-the-middle attack, C. Replay attack, D. Meet-in-the-middle attack. The answer is D. Meet-in-the-middle attack. Question 20. Which of the following does not apply to IPsec? The options are A. Use key exchange, B. Encrypts the payloads, C. Work at the data link layer, D. Provides authentication. The answer is C. Work at the data link layer. Question 21. John performs black box testing. He tries to pass IRC traffic over port 80/TCP from a compromised web-enabled host during the test. Traffic is blocked, but outbound HTTP traffic does not meet any obstacles. What type of firewall checks outbound traffic? The options are A. Packet filtering, B. Circuit, C. Stateful, D. Application. The answer is D. Application. Question 22. Alex, a cybersecurity specialist, should conduct a pen test inside the network, while he received absolutely no information about the attacked network. What type of testing will Alex conduct? The options are A. Internal black box, B. Internal white box, C. External black box, D. Internal gray box. The answer is A. Internal black box. Question 23. Alex, the penetration tester, performs a server scan. To do this, he uses the method where the TCP header is split into many packets so that it becomes difficult to determine what packages are used for. Determine the scanning technique that Alex uses. The options are A. TCP scanning, B. Inverse TCP flag scanning, C. IP fragmentation scan, D. ACK flag scanning. The answer is C. IP fragmentation scan. Question 24. John needs to choose a firewall that can protect against SQL injection attacks. Which of the following types of firewalls is suitable for this task? The options are A. Web application firewall, B. Hardware firewall, C. Stateful firewall, D. Packet firewall. The answer is A. Web application firewall. Question 25. Which of the following SQL injection attacks does an attacker usually use to bypass user authentication and extract data by using a conditional or clause, so that the condition of the where clause will always be true? The options are A. Error-based SQL, B. End-of-line comment, C. Tautology, D. Union SQL. The answer is C. Tautology. Question 26. Which of the following wireless standards has bandwidth up to 54 megabits per second and signals in a regulated frequency spectrum around 5 GHz? The options are A. 802.11g, B. 802.11n, C. 802.11a, D. 802.11i. The answer is C. 802.11a. Question 27. What actions should you take if you find that the company that hired you is involved with human trafficking? The options are A. Copy the information to removable media and keep it in case you need it, B. Confront the customer and ask her about this, C. Ignore the information and continue the assessment until the work is done, D. Stop work and contact the proper legal authorities. The answer is D. Stop work and contact the proper legal authorities. Question 28. Which of the following is the method of determining the movement of a data packet from an untrusted external host to a protected internal host through a firewall? The options are A. Session hijacking, B. Network sniffing, C. MITM, D. Firewalking. The answer is D. Firewalking. Question 29. Which of the following UDP ports is usually used by Network Time Protocol (NTP)? The options are A. 123, B. 177, C. 161, D. 19. The answer is A. 123. Question 30. Why is a penetration test considered to be better than a vulnerability scan? The options are A. The tools used by penetration testers tend to have much more comprehensive vulnerability databases. B. A penetration test is often performed by an automated tool, while a vulnerability scan requires active engagement. C. Penetration tests are intended to exploit weaknesses in the architecture of your IT network, while a vulnerability scan does not typically involve active exploitation. D. Vulnerability scans only do host discovery and port scanning by default. The answer is C.